Alright, hello everyone. We've got another Exceed commentary after 4 or 5 months or so. Uh, just spoiler alert before we start. I have not played this game in a long time. It's been a couple months, so I actually don't. Any knowledge that I had of the game, I've just lost it. So don't expect anything good from this commentary. But anyways, we've got. I actually don't. Give me 1 second. I want to. They have start time on. Okay, they've turned it off. Okay, perfect. Okay. So anyways, we've got a pools match for this tournament called Jungy's Japes. I don't remember the name of the tournament. But we've got a week 2 pools match between two guys who I believe are 1-0 so far. On our red side we have CMEshai. I was just chatting with him. Apparently he won the last tournament or something. And he's a very cocky player. So let's see if IcePopAddict can bring him down. But I was chatting with this guy for a bit beforehand, and he seems to know what he's talking about. And he's very confident in his play, picking good characters. Well, picking Lucia, and on our blue side here, actually, I probably shouldn't be swinging the camera back and forth like that. On our blue side here, we have IcePopAddict. I know next to nothing about this guy. Well, I know next to nothing about both guys. He's on Hakumen, season 5 character. Both characters very strong, although definitely Lucia's provably super duper strong. Whereas Hakumen part of season 5, and definitely kind of has like a couple weaknesses. But from I'd say from a cursory glance, Hakumen is also like a super strong character. Maybe not as provably strong as Lucia, but just because Lucia's from season 2, so she's had a lot more time to be dominant in the meta. Anyways, looks like both players are ready to go. I'm assuming coin flip's gonna happen at some point. I should have asked them beforehand what their characters were. Maybe I will what their rosters were. Excuse me. Maybe I'll put that in post. Put like a little graphic or something. I don't know. It's probably not gonna happen. Let's be honest. And now, while these guys flip the coin, you can hear me stall for time, as I don't want to keep too much dead air in. Tails on the coin flip. Let's go. CMEshai draws his cards one at a time. I'm assuming Hakumen decided to go first. Hakumen lost his deck. Oh, Hakumen comes in with the custom background. I have no idea what this is depicting. I'm sorry, I'm not really a fan of anime, so I have no idea what's going on here. Why did I just see a grasp? Do you see that? That was weird. Let me know what the scene is. Is that Kokonoe? I don't know if that's Kokonoe or not. Maybe it is. Anyways, we're gonna look. I guess it doesn't actually matter what side we look at, because we don't have any hand information or anything like that. The only thing we know are life totals and the size. It's really laggy right now. Huh. Okay, there. Looks like it's fixed itself. We've got mulligan phase going on right now. Looks like CMEshai is going to be mulliganing 1. Hakumen opposite mulligan 2. Yeah, let's keep an eye on this side. I wonder what this. I have no idea what this. Maybe that's Akumetsu, the astral heat. Yeah, it's probably why that card's on the side. It's kind of weird, but it's only one card. I don't know why he kept it face down, but whatever. Anyways, Hakumen going first. From this range, Hakumen really only has a couple of options without moving in. They are. Well, Yanagi is not an option right now because he doesn't have any gauge. Uh, so how Hakumen works as a character is that he passively builds up gauge on turns he doesn't strike by adding the top card of his deck to his gauge at the end of his turn, after the draw phase at the end of his turn. And yeah, Hakumen chooses to run in, probably scared of Lucia, who is like a Mandish Strike and also a Firefly Gunner, and not Talon Sweep. I think that's like, I feel like that's a meme in the community. I don't really know it, but apparently everyone misreads this card. It's an on hit effect that you advance for. Is that what people misread? I actually don't know. But yeah, Hakumen just opts to cross get in Lucia's face. Probably prefers the range 1 to the range 4. And also starts building up that gauge, right? So Hakumen is somewhat disincentivized to strike a lot just because he doesn't get the passive meter gain. Let's try to censor that. Lucia opting to strike, interestingly. The range will strike. Focus into sweep. So this will be an even life trade and an even card trade, although Hakumen will have to kind of recycle a card. I'm not really sure how much deck pressure is going to play into CMEshai's plans. Oh, discards the second focus. So right off the bat, that's kind of bad just because Hakumen, because of the nature of his character, kind of leaks information to the opponent. And losing 2 focuses and losing 2 of any card this early, I think is just kind of bad. Just because Lucia, that's just one less threat that you have to worry about. Having kind of, although focus maybe isn't the most important card, just having that threat of, either both reading or just focus as a combat card, just having that threat neutralized early, you're never really happy to see that as any character on any card, in my opinion. So anyways, we see both players prep. Next, just boosting defend. Lucia does the same. I really wish she switched to season 2 normals, or even better, switch to my normals. Maybe I'll show you guys after the game what my normals look like. But my normals are a real treat. They're really well designed. They're easy on the eyes. I'll show you guys after the match what my normals look like. But these season 2 normals, man, they're so good. They're so good. They're just so. It's like, just because of the background color, it's just really easy to tell. You can actually switch what the normals. For those of you that don't know, you can. There would be a little button here underneath. I don't know if you can actually, if the resolution is high enough to see my pointer, but there is a little button here that you can press, and if you do, your deck will spawn with that season normal. It was Hakumen striking again. Already has four gauge here. I actually don't know who should be the aggressor in this matchup. I've played one game as Lucia, and I was recommended to play Hakumen a couple times just because I like being a little passive, I guess, and I like the big tankiness, and the building of the gauge, but Hakumen just didn't really strike a chord with me as much as I would have anticipated. So I actually don't play either of these characters. So unfortunately, I don't really have any insight on how this matchup goes. This is my first time seeing it. Anyway, CMEshai considering what to play here. Please, the range 1 dive. I love the range 1 dive. Not enough people do it. Not enough people do. I love the range 1 dive so much. And it's a real treat to see, just because not enough people do it. If you don't represent the range 1 dive, the range 1 slow attack just dominates the mix up, right? So this is a card that you have to represent, even if it doesn't hit. Anyways, Lucia opting to boost Whirlwind, which is just an absolutely disgusting boost. It's a better version of Guile's. I used to play some Guile. It's a better version of Guile's boost. It's a +3 speed, and it goes to gauge at the end of her next turn. I believe that's just Hakumen opting to prepare and get another gauge down. Let's see if Lucia actually wants to strike. Apparently, the joke around range 1 speed boost is that speed actually doesn't matter in range 1. Let's see if it matters here or if Lucia was. Nope, Lucia opting to parry. We'll also get the second gauge in. No transforms yet for when she flips. Parry Shippu successfully. Very nice. And this ultra is very scary. It hits basically the whole board, so Lucia can't get away with her ultra, which I can't find here. Ride the lightning, 118. She actually can't escape it. And Hakumen, you may think it's a 4 gauge ultra, but Hakumen builds his gauge passively pretty easily, so it's not the most expensive thing to have, and especially against a character with an ultra like Ride the Lightning, it's definitely a good option. I wonder if these guys are lagging, because I am lagging a little bit. I'm also the host of the game. I think it's just my laptop, like, not. I'm on a laptop and not a proper desktop, so it might be my laptop just not being happy that I am recording and playing a game at the same time. But hopefully, it's not affecting the players too much. At least this tournament, there's no forced timer rules, so these guys have as long as they want to think within reason. I think is the rules. I didn't really read the rule book and see what the official stance is on a player taking 5 hours to make a move. I actually don't know. Maybe that falls under on sportsmanlike conduct. Hakumen is striking again. This is a really aggressive Hakumen. This is his third strike, maybe. Yeah, I believe it's his third initiation so far. So not willing to sit back, especially because these season 2 characters, if you let them sit back, they will sit back, draw their EX transforms, and then just destroy you by exceeding for free, and just getting insane value out of that. So Hakumen striking here, range 1 again. Lucia already has used one dive. Let's see if this is gonna be like a Ride the Lightning to get out of there. Red Lightning only costs 2, right? I'm not tripping. Yeah, Ride the Lightning only costs 2. I don't know if she'd be willing to spend a Ride the Lightning just to get out of a mix-up this early. Especially because she has so much health to work with. Maybe she could try for like a cheeky talent sweep. That'd be cool. Just get some extra. Just get some distance. Run away. I feel like although I guess I shouldn't really generalize, but one thing that I've noticed a lot of players do, just from kind of watching them, is that they don't play, the fast option on defense enough, in my opinion. Maybe this is just me. This is me not kind of talking out my butt, but they don't play the fast option on defense. Although apparently this guy is some like insanely good player who's like not losing very often, so he probably knows. He's thinking about the wild swing. He's looking at his discard. Only 3 cards in there. A little bit more. You can glean a little bit more information from the Hawkman side. I'm surprised he's not. I guess he's probably keeping track of discard or deck and hand contents, because Hawkman's already gone through nearly half his deck here, because he's got 10 cards in gauge and discard that he knows of. That's one of the, I think I mentioned this before, that's one of the downsides of Hakumen, is that you just kind of leak information so much more quickly than other characters. CMEshai really thinking, goes for the wild swing, cross. Interesting cross there from the Hawkman side, just because he spent a cross to go in, did like play to focus, and then left, and then gives Lucia the range 4. Although maybe range 4 is not as bad as I thought it would be for Hawkman, but I don't know, man. I and everyone else am scared of that. What's that card? Is it this one? Yeah, Firefly Gunner. The Those speed 1 attacks at range 3 and 4 don't hit you. Although Gurren, I guess Gurren and Yonagi both avoid that, right? Because Gurren has the close 2. And where is Yonagi? Yonagi also avoids that. Alongside Dive, obviously, but... Yeah, interesting choice to go back to range 4 here. Maybe he was expecting like a slow and didn't want to get hit by another sweep. I actually don't know why Hakumen opted for that cross. Maybe we'll see in the next combat. Anyways, it is now Lucia's turn. Lucia opting for the second parry, gets the second Shippu. So very clearly, CMEshai had a plan in this matchup, and that was to get rid of Shippus, which, like I said before, hit the whole board, and probably kind of annoying for Lucia to deal with. Like even like a bug zapper doesn't pop this completely. Hakumen in response boosting Fumajin. Attacks at range 4 or 5 do not hit you. It's an interesting boost. It's basically no Firefly Gunner. And CMEshai backing up to range 6. I love this. I love this so much. So apparently this guy is a prominent member of the quote-unquote taxi meta. I've actually never seen a taxi meta player in action before, so this is exciting for me, even though it might not be the most riveting gameplay. I love the backup. Hakumen just opting to sit there, and he's got a lot of gauge now, 7 gauge, but he's letting Lucia get to those transforms. I'm not really, like I said before, I'm not really sure who should play the aggressor in this matchup. I thought with the turn 1 cross it would be Hakumen, and especially with those 3 strikes, those 3 aggressive strikes, to Lucia's 0. Huh. What is this? How's that popped up? Okay, it went away. But now he's in a position where he's really far back. Doesn't have ultras anymore. Doesn't have Shippus. Sorry, he only has the Yukikaze. I believe that was a change card 0 from the Lucia side. So this is exciting stuff for me. Like I said, probably doesn't make for great YouTube play. But the range 6 change card 0, I'm a fan of this. I want to see where this goes, because I actually want to see this style in action. So let's see if Hakumen feels the pressure to close in. Maybe he does his own change card 0. Then what? But the thing is, look at this deck. This deck is already at 9 cards, and although Hakumen does have the free shuffle mechanic, he's one of the few characters that gets to have more than 1 reshuffle. So I'm actually not really sure how this kind of strategy would fare against a character with the quote-unquote free shuffle. Especially because now he has the full 8 gauge. You just opt to free shuffle if Lucy just sits there. I wonder if that's going to be like a play that works, because at the end of the day, Lucy, like, while Hakumen does have the free shuffle mechanic, you are letting Lucia build up her transforms, and the season 2 characters, they get stronger as you just kind of let them sit there. A lot of them do, just because of the transform mechanic. So it's gonna be interesting to see if this kind of strategy works out against the range 6 Lucia. Opting for the Yukikaze doesn't actually do anything with respect to attacks hitting yet. This could be set up for interesting opts to succeed here. So he'll get the reshuffle now. This is not a manual reshuffle, so we will not get the Akumetsu in hand. But as I said before, the deck pressure strategy of decking people out might not actually work against Hakumen. But he opts for the reshuffle now, which I think is a little bit interesting. I don't know if he wanted to maybe save that for a couple turns, but at the same time, I didn't really know what else he could have done. You can't. Maybe moving into Lucia here is kind of sketchy because she has the she put out the. I don't remember if I said it, but she put out the second whirlwind out, the +3 speed boost. So maybe walking in that turn wasn't the smartest play, but I'm not really sure what Hakumen can get out of this succeed. But he can just do it. He can just do it kind of over and over again if we see it. In theory, just sits there. But still very early days. We'll see it looking to boost. Yep, boost defend. That whirlwind would now go to gauge. So yeah, perfectly content to just sit here at range 6. So now Hakumen's overdrive will go off. The overdrive. So basically, how the overdrive mechanic works is that you have this separate gauge here at the start of your turn. You discard one card from your overdrive, and then you perform the ability down at the bottom in red. So Hakumen's ability is that he actually gets to get cards back. So Hakumen chooses to get cross back and will boost it, moving himself to range 3. I guess that was the plan. Hakumen obviously can hit at range 3. And will overdraw because he returned a card to hand from his overdrive. Discards the grasp. Just another card that won't be red. And here comes the preemptive from Lucia. So is this preemptive spike? Does Hakumen have anything in hand that could deal with preemptive spike? He could have like EX Gurren maybe. No, he doesn't have EX Gurren. Yeah. Actually, can Hakumen deal with a spike here? No, right? Oh, it's actually Mana Strike. Interesting. And opting for Yukikaze. Okay. Yeah, I forgot about the possibility that you could draw this ultra. But this ultra could deal with spike. But just goes for the Mana Strike. Gets a transform on the board. Pull to advance 4, so Lucia will get the extra 1 damage from her innate ability, and then Hakumen will zip on over right next to her, and deal 6 back, and then we'll advance 2 on hit. And one thing I might have neglected to mention is that Hakumen's ability is that his gauge costs or Hakumen's exceed side is that his gauge costs are reduced to 0. Did he advance 2 on hit? Maybe he'll do it. I'll ask. That seems... Yeah, that looks better. Yes, so Yukikaze before closes 8 if you're hit, and on hit advances 2, not 1. So board state looks correct, and Lucia gets her first transform. So this one is basically just gives her extra movement. On the exceed side, this ability basically gives you +2 power as well, because of her exceed ability, which is I don't remember if it's force or gauge, but I think it's when she spends gauge, she can put those gauge into play as +1 power boost. So if you use Storm's Fury, you can get extra movement and a +2 power boost, because Lucia is a balanced character. Okay, opposite take Enma in hand. 2 more turns left on the Exceed. Boost Light. I wonder if Lucia is going to... I don't think she goes for the instant Exceed, but I wonder if it's coming soon. She has more than enough gauge. I don't remember what... I remember... oh, no, the Exceed trigger is you draw 5 cards, right? I'm really sorry. I should have paid a little bit more attention to the character picks, because I actually don't remember Lucia... I actually don't remember Lucia's backside. I think it's like draw 5 cards. I don't remember. Yeah, I apologize for that. It's been a while since I've touched this game. So wait, Hakumen, like I said before, boosts light +2 speed on backside, and Lucia is pondering her options. Has actually gone through a decent amount of her deck now. Unfortunately, I as the spectator do not have the ability to search these discard piles, which would be really cool, but it's just so I can keep a better track of the game state and what options are available, what options are not available. As we proceed through these decks faster and faster, that'll become important. But unfortunately, I don't really have the best ability to track cards. I'll do my best, but I might forget if an option's down or if it's still up. Anyway, Hakumen has 1 more turn of the overdrive left. Let's see. So Lucia prepped on her last turn. So let's see if Hakumen will kind of use this tempo advantage to strike here, or maybe he'll just maybe boost again. I kind of foresee maybe a strike coming, but maybe not. I want to see. Actually, no. I was saying maybe I want to see like a ride the lightning bait, but not at this position. These because Lucia would put herself into the corner and she'd be really close to Hakumen. Hakumen looked like he's maybe prepping an EX attack, moving cards around in his hand, or just maybe just sorting his hand. That's the one downside of tabletop simulators, that you can see when kind of opponents fiddle cards around their hand. You can't really make assumptions there. What is going on here? Oh, it's a reading. Okay, you just didn't tilt the card. Okay, so reading fails, unfortunately. So we have a lot of information on the hand here. We'll actually flip around and see. So we have EX Downburst, a Focus, a Bug Zapper, 1 copy of each Ultra, and Assault. So I wonder what this reading was on. I wonder if it was like a reading... I wonder what he's trying to hit with this reading, because we actually don't know. Unfortunately, I haven't asked, and they haven't told us what the reading was on, so it's a little bit difficult to glean information from that until we actually see what the appropriate response is from the Lucia side. I could do the same thing, but I tilt the focus around before dragging both cards down. So let's see what Lucia's response to this reading is. There's a +2. So any response is kind of... You have to be aware that a lot less responses work to a reading when light is in play on the focus playing side. So responses that would normally work to a reading might not work here. So like, for example, if Lucia thinks that Hakumen is playing Spike, you can't play Assault in response to that, right? Because Assault trait, it loses the speed tie. Actually, he just goes for the focus, so it wasn't that. It's the Enma. So I wonder what he read. I wonder why he's trying to hit confirm the Enma. I wonder what he read. Because Enma is not the biggest... It's not the biggest payout. Yeah, it's not the biggest payout. So I wonder what he read. It does give you slight positioning. Maybe I'm just thinking too much. Like, I want to be greedy. I want to be greedier with my focuses just to make sure you get the payout. Although, honestly, the way Hakuman is going through his deck, he'll get that focus in no time. Lucia in response says, range 1 is too close for me. I'm gonna back it up. Goes debating whether to go range 3, range 4. Looking at the card, start at range 1. Can go back all the way to range 5 without even cornering herself. Opts for range 3. Interesting. Okay. Now Hakuman's turn. His last overdrive will go off, so he will pick up either Focus or Zantetsu. Another important thing to note here is that in that hand of CMEshai's, he had 2 normals, and he spent both of them. So now he can't get red from the focus, right? Because on Hakuman's turn, he was going to pick up the focus from Overdrive and read any normal that he had in hand and appropriately punish it. But because CMEshai got rid of both the assault and the focus, there's nothing to read. So just a little play there to notice. Oh, boosting Zatetsu, close to 2 in strike. Again, picking up that Zatetsu for free. Hakuman should flip, by the way. Yeah, there he goes. So Overdrive ends the moment your Overdrive has 0 cards in it. It doesn't end at the end of the turn. It's interesting. Maybe just showing that Zantetsu. Okay, boosting Spike. And now back to building gauge for Hakuman. No, I feel like Lucy's been a little bit unlucky in getting her transforms out. She only has 9 cards left in her deck and only has 1 transform out, and it was a transform that she hit. It wasn't even an EX transform. And we didn't see any of the we didn't see either Talent Sweep or Bug Zapper. They're still in the deck. Okay. Lucia with the second preemptive. Was set a pre. So I'm not. So one thing I'm not sure what happened. I'm sure it happened at some point, but I actually didn't see CMEshai shuffle his hand. He probably did. But I certainly hope he did, because otherwise he's telling a lot of information. Like he picked like the rightmost card in his hand. Maybe I'm tripping and didn't see that properly. But yeah, one thing you have to make sure is that you definitely have to shuffle your hand after. I shuffle my hand after every draw personally. Or even if I touch a card and like move it over to the side, I'll shuffle my hand afterward. That's just something to keep in mind. Like it's not really. I don't. In my opinion, it's not really cheating, but like to kind of take that information. But you shouldn't leave information like that on the table. Anyways, Lucia opting for the preemptive strike, as I said earlier. So that's a +2 speed and now strike. Interesting to note, Hakuman only at 3 gauge, so can't actually respond with the Yukikaze this time around. You kind of used the Yukikaze last time as like a get out of jail free card. But that option is not available to him this time around. Spike, maybe? Block? Dive. Okay, I mean, similar concept. Although he gets to actually block that for free. And gets the extra crossover damage as well, so this will be a 6 damage dive coming in. I'm assuming Hakuman blocks it all. Already has 3 armor down, so maybe he takes the 1 damage. He has the extra armor from Spike, of course. I guess. Well, I mean, I I guess CMEshai just did draw the spike, right? Because we didn't see it in his hand, and he drew the dive and decided to go for that instead. Makes Hakumen spend the block, so I guess that works out as well. So there's a lot of aggressive hand gesturing going on right now. But yeah, like I said, maybe he's just pointing out that this is a 6 damage dive because of Lucia's. What is this game called? The abilities? I know in Yomi they're called innates, but I forget what the. I remember it's like a really generic term for the ability that's on a character card. Just called a character ability. I don't remember the nomenclature. But yeah, Lucia's ability is that she does 1 non lethal damage and builds gauge when she crosses over the opponent. So this is going to be a 6 damage dive coming in. Hakumen pondering what to discard, if anything. Don't think it should be from gauge. I think it should be from hand. But maybe I'm wrong. But the only thing is, if it comes from gauge, he won't have that 4 gauge again. I mean, he probably doesn't need it, but yeah. Okay, discards a dive. Maybe opts to take the 1 here. Yeah, that's what it looks like it's happening. Yep, takes the 1. Lucia now kind of in a weird position, but she can, in theory, just ride the lightning out. But now that other Ultra is online, was it Shippu? So 1 Shippu, oh, that's actually huge. 1 Shippu down the drain into the gauge. So prepping here, from a pure deck pressure perspective, maybe prepping is bad because it feels like it's gonna kind of force a reshuffle. Actually, no, it shouldn't force a reshuffle. He'll have just enough. He'll have just enough cards, because he'll have 6, and he won't reshuffle until he actually needs to draw another one. So say Hakumen was not going to strike until the end of his turn. He would burn. He'd get 3 into the gauge and three cards into hand, which is perfect because he has 6 cards left. So he would not get forced to reshuffle early, because I don't think Lucia has any force the opponent to draw. Surely she doesn't. On top of everything else she already has, surely she doesn't have that. So actually, that's perfectly counted out by Hakumen. But the game's already, I mean, just from life totals, maybe that won't come into play because Haku's at 15 and Lucy's at 16. So maybe that deck pressure won't come into play. But it's just something I'm keeping track of, just because these taxi boys, and because I was talking to CMEshai before, and he was talking about how his favorite thing to do in this game is deck people out, which I can definitely respect. I love that. So interestingly, Hakumen goes for a strike here. So you can still have the second Shippu, so Ride the Lightning is not free here. But Shippu doesn't do a ton of damage and wastes 4 gauge. And the wasting the 4 gauge, I think, is super important, because then Hakumen will be forced to reshuffle. The Ride the Lightning was known, though, so maybe Hakumen knows that he's trying to play a card against that. That's kind of the Yomi aspect of this game. It's like, what? I mean, because the information was known on the Lucia side. It's like, what card was played, and what's the correct response? So you maybe think about that while it's swing? Don't think so. Maybe, I don't think Wild Swing's a play. She has, we saw her hand, and she has options to deal with this. I wonder if it's the defensive Tautsu. Okay, interesting. Against Zantetsu, okay. So Lucia is gonna dip, and Zantetsu's gonna miss. And on top of that, spends the extra gauge, which is, if we're taking that reshuffle idea, if we're taking that reshuffle concept into play, Hakumen's not going to be able to build 8 gauge before reshuffling. And on top of that, Lucia gets the transform out, second transform. And it's just another way on backside Lucia to get extra gauge expenditure. Oh no, you can't reveal cards in your hand. What are you doing? It's a focus too. Oh no. Or sorry, it's a normal as well, not a focus. It was a cross. You can't reveal cards in hand when it's not your turn. That cross spots get red. Right? And yeah, that cross was not known information either from the last OD. At least yeah, it wasn't. Definitely was not. It was drawn. But yeah, Lucia now has 2 transforms out. She has a lot of gauge though, and a lot of hand though, so maybe not flipping yet. Like I said, actually, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna look up. This is really bothering me. I'm gonna look it up. What Lucia's backside ability is, because I don't remember it. I feel like it's put your hand into your gauge and then draw 5 cards. Is that it? I really do apologize for my lack of knowledge in this game. I didn't really know very much to begin with 4 months ago. Now I've just lost it all. Lucia Thunderbird. When you exceed, add your score. Add your hand to your gauge and draw 5 cards. Okay. Oh, interesting. Goes for the chain climb. Ends up cornering herself close to Hakumen. Although, like, Lucia's the queen of escaping, right? She has Ride the Lightning, and she has this Talent Sweep. Although, and she has, on top of that, she has, like, so many cards that just move her around, right? So I guess she's okay with cornering herself, gets the extra damage in, doesn't actually lose too much out of hand for that. And gets an extra gauge on top, or not. I don't remember if the last card was, if the ultra was spent from gauge, but just slowly chipping away. Hakumen unable to catch the slippery lightning bird or whatever her lore is. She's like a thunderbird, right? That's what she's called. I don't really know what her lore is. She kind of looks like she's got like a superhero costume, right? And I say that because like the mask. Maybe I'm mistaken. I have no idea what her lore is. She turns into a giant bird though. That's pretty cool. And then Hakumen, I know nothing about BlazBlue either, so I don't know why I even started that conversation. I know nothing about the lore in this game or in any of the seasons. I know Street Fighter lore, I guess, but I don't know anything about Shovel Knight. I don't know anything about Seventh Cross, and I don't know anything about BlazBlue. So anyway, Lucia back cornered, but like I said before, Lucia she can get out of corners quite easily. So let's see what Hakumen does in response to this. Down 6 life. So it doesn't have a ton of HP to trade. Opting for a manual reshuffle. Okay. Gets Akametsu in hand. Akametsu, opponents cannot move, and you can't get hit at range 1. So don't be at range 1. Unless you're like I believe Arakune can get out of it. A couple other characters. Basically, you have to be a character that can push or pull. Push or pull Hakumen, because you can't move, but you can force Hakumen to move. I remember that actually came into play. I believe it came into play in the last match I cast. In Calvantis versus Mix. I believe Calvantis was playing Arakune and Mix was playing Hakumen. I think that interaction came into play. Maybe I'm not 100% sure. Or maybe I'm not 100% sure. Maybe I mentioned it and it didn't actually happen. Anyway, Lucia opting to boost power here. The Fierce. Hakumen didn't shuffle his hand. I don't think. I feel like maybe I did hear shuffle stuff, but I hope that rightmost card in his hand isn't the Akametsu. Like I said before, especially in this kind of rules unenforced client, it's super, super important that you shuffle your hand. Leave, like, make sure you're not leaking any information that you're not supposed to leak, right? Anyway, this is a long game. It's been going on for an hour. Oh, okay. He moves forward. I was about to be like, oh, now Hakumen's gonna draw back with the assault now. He goes forward. Oh no, the second Yukikaze into Gage. So this is both good and bad. So it's good because when Hakumen gets the 8 gauge, he's gonna be able to bring these Yukikazes back into his hand. It's bad because he's not at 8 gauge yet, and he might die before that happens, and that would be very tragic. Especially with like a +2. Lucia on front side doesn't really do a ton of damage, but you see that fierce out. You see both Yukikazes engaged with only 6 gauge left. It's a little scared. I'm a little scared for Hakumen. But yeah. Anyway, range 1, Akumetsu known in hand for Hakumen. So let's see how Lucia deals with this. So she can't. Do any of her cards actually deal with it? Pull 2 does not work because she's in the corner, unfortunately. Talent Sweep she can't move. Mana Strike doesn't work. Bug Zapper does not work. Firefly Gunner does not work. Ride the Lightning can't move. And yeah, so Lucia actually has to move out of the corner here, right? So that way she doesn't get hit by Akamatsu. So in any other scenario except with the one where Lucy is like close to the corner, she actually has a way to get out of Akamatsu, and it's with Downburst. Because she pulls Hakumen, and hopefully Hakumen ends up in range 2. Alright, luckily she can just chain trap out, or chain climb, excuse me. And now Lucia's all the way over there. God, I love this. I love it. It's so annoying. Hakumen crosses in, but it's only at range 4 now. It does have the gauge build up. So maybe Lucia not opting to go for that the kill him before he gets 8 gauge line, and instead opts to run away. I love it. Oh, is that a strike? Is that an EX strike coming from Lucia's side? Oh, it is. We know, and it's gonna be with the grandstanding, right? So this could kill. This could unfortunately I don't really know what it is, just because I haven't been paying too much attention to the discards. This should 100% be known, unless there's like 2 options or something. But it's a grandstanded EX fierce move, so this could kill. This could kill, and Hakumen has to be very, very careful. You should be able to narrow it down to at least a couple of options of what it could be. Can't be Downburst, can't be Talon, can't be Manus. Is it Bug Zapper? Could it be Bug Zapper? Yeah, it could be Bug Zapper, I think. Can't be Firefly, and can't be Skies of Flame. Normals, we can see a Focus, Assault, Sweep, Grasp, and it's not Cross. And he teched something early, so this is just Bug Zapper. So how can Hakumen deal with Bug Zapper here? With EX Bug Zapper on top of it. So EX Bug Zapper actually won't kill. But it will basically kill. And then like Lucia can force a strike the turn after without Yukikazes in hand. So this is maybe Lucia pressing the go button a little bit. But so Bug Zapper will do, let's see, if she spends 4 force, 1, 2, 3, 4. So she can spend 4 force and still hit. Oh, interesting. Hakumen opting for an EX in response. EX Gurren? Not EX Gurren. EX rank, speed 5? Let's be Bug Zapper. Does that lose the Bug Zapper? Let me think. Yeah, I feel like it totally does, yeah? Right, this is gonna be 3 damage. 1, 2, 3 crossovers for 6 damage. With a Fierce is 8 damage. So Hakumen doesn't die, but it pops the Armor Guard on Renka, EX Renka. Maybe this was just his best option of living, right? Sometimes you have to make difficult decisions to stay alive in the game. This was probably one of them. But yeah, I think maybe Lucia sees the double Yukikaze engage and says, "Okay, now's my time to press the go button here." So this, I believe, would be 8 damage. Let's just do the math again. So it's 3 crossovers, 3 from Bug Zapper, and 2 from Fierce. So and 1 from Grandstanding. So that's actually 9 damage coming in. Hakumen has 2 armor, so we'll take 7 damage in total. Down to 2 HP. So yeah, luckily, yeah, that was definitely CMEshai going for the kill there. Luckily, he had the armor on Renka and backed it up with the EX. But yeah, Bug Zapper. Was there a second block in the Hakumen side? Hakumen opting for the Prepare. Has 8 gauge, but like I said, might be too late now. If we're going to see an RTL to finish things off. I believe there's one. Oh no, interesting. Just opts for the crossover. Put him down to 1. So. Oh, sorry. That's okay. So that's I was about to say, like, you don't want to be at range 1 because you're gonna get popped by the Yukikaze. But this play is actually using Storm's Fury to cross over, and then probably it can't be RTL though because of Akametsu. So what is this? Oh wait, no, he just dies. No, he doesn't die. Wait. What? What is this? Am I missing something? It's not downburst because he spent both downbursts. Wait, is he just dying to Akametsu? Is he dying to it really looks like he's dying to Akametsu. I'm not dying, but like taking 10 damage. Right? Because the only way, what we established before, is the only way to get out of Akametsu is with downburst, and he spent both downbursts. Oh, it's Cross. Okay, well, Cross can't leave, and he just takes 10. Okay. This is a play. Unfortunately, no gauge now, so I'm not really sure what happens from the Hakumen side now. Now Ride the Lightning just seems free, but a little bit of drama there at the end, right? And it was a +1 power as well, so it'll be 11 damage Akametsu. Yeah, I guess maybe that's just CMEshai just not considered, just like forgetting Akametsu was a card that existed. Yeah, because I mean, we'll say it again. This is the only card that gets out of Akametsu for Lucia, right? Is the downburst, and both downbursts were spent as chain climbs. So yeah, just a little bit of a misplay. Hopefully, it's not a catastrophic one. Hakumen is at 1 HP. Nobly cannot kill with Lucia's innate ability. What's it? Her UA. I think that's what they call it. The UA. I don't even know what the U would stand for. Like, what is going on here? Hakumen with the change cards 5 to draw 6. Huh. I don't know why he got rid of the focus. I feel like, well, maybe one way he could have won is if he read something, maybe. Although maybe these 3 cards are known, and that's not the way to win. Unfortunately I didn't really get to see. Oh no, that block, so sad. I think maybe he was digging for that. Surely there could have been a line with focus, although I'm not really sure which of these 3 cards were known from that that focus that was like 45 minutes ago or something. But these 2 players are playing kind of slow, which is fine. I played super slow as well, but I feel like there could have been a line that maximizes win percentage with reading, but maybe I'm mistaken, and like all these cards are known, and like Lucia didn't really have a normal in there that could easily be exploited or something. But I would have liked to see him keep that focus personally. Although maybe that focus could have gotten red potentially. Lucia opting. Oh, okay, yep, and Lucia opting for the prepare because I believe both focuses are down on the Hakumen side now. So this is This is spicy. Hawkman down to 3 cards left in deck. I don't. I feel like someone's gonna die before deck outs. But man, getting that focus just gave. If I'm correct and that is the second focus, getting rid of that focus meant that Lucy could just sit there. I feel like it got rid of a win con on the Hawkman side, if I'm being 100% honest. Um, like if I was on the Hawkman side, I assumed that my win con was reading something, but maybe IcePopAddict has. I'm sorry, I haven't been actually referring to IcePopAddict by his name at all. And there's the reading spike. It's over. Grandstand for extra funsies. It's an RTL. Yeah, that change cards was curious. Maybe I'd like to ask him. Wait, he's not dead. No, he's dead. He has just 1 HP. Never mind. He's dead because because of the crossover. We'll pop off the armor, and then yeah, I'll cross over to the other one. But yeah, I'm really curious what the change cards was for. Like, is he looking for a the only thing I can think of is that he's looking for a block, but a little bit. I don't know. I felt like the focus, like he kind of threw away a win con. Maybe I'm mistaken. Maybe, but it felt like to me that he threw away a win con by trading up that focus. And also, focus does really well to ride the lightning. Actually, no, it doesn't. Not in 1 HP, unfortunately. Not unless you have like EX focus, because ride the lightning would do 2 damage, with the grandstanding, and then would do. Not with the grandstand. What's the ability name? I think it's grandstanding. Yeah, we would do 2 damage with the grandstanding plus the crossover for an extra 1. But yeah, it just felt like he threw away a win con there. I hate to harp on this so much, but it's just something that I noticed that like immediately, like there are not a lot of things that like immediately stick out to me. That was one thing that did. Maybe he just wanted to dig for that block extra hard. But yeah, I guess it gave CMEshai the license to prepare to draw the second Ride Lightning, which I'm assuming was stuck at the bottom of the deck, which is why either the Ride Lightning or one part of that combo, right? So either the Ride the Lightning or the second focus was stuck at the bottom of this deck, and it gave CMEshai the license to go and draw for it, dropping that focus. So maybe a little bit of a misplay there. We'll see. Anyway, on to game 2. And I apologize, it's going to be a long one. I feel like I've been commentating for like an hour, maybe a little bit longer. So this is going to be a long one. Both players really like to think, which I listen, I do the same thing in this game, so I can't blame them. So anyway, so I looking at, let's see, you know what? It's not even worth it. I was going to say we could pull out the character rosters, but it's not even worth it. So we have Renea coming out from CMEshai against, yes, we got Shovel Shield, baby. I always get hyped for Season 4. Season 4 is personally my favorite. Shovel Shield was not really a character I vibed with super hard, but I really enjoy, I like playing Treasure Knights. I'm not very good with him. I love Polar Knight. Mole Knight's cool. King Knight is, like, if I had a character that I performed exceptionally well at, despite it being like a bad character, like King Knight's a bad character, he's not a good character, but for some reason I performed really well with King Knight. King Knight, my jam. Shovel Shield, I didn't really, I wasn't the biggest fan, but hey, Shovel Shield, awesome. Plague Knight is probably the character that I would bring to a tournament, if I were ever to play one. Plague Knight's sick. I love Plague Knight. Spectre Knight is like fun, but I'm not good with him. Propeller is pretty cool. I just don't vibe with that character either. Tanker's awesome though, and then the 2 promos, like Fight's pretty cool. Beheaded's awesome. I love Season 4, man. Season 4, and no one gives Season 4 the love that it deserves, because Season 4 is great. Oh, we've even got a little card back here. What is this? Okay, it's some weeb thing. I have no idea what that is. And then we've got the Renea card backs, which she gets because so she can distinguish the briefcase. the cards in the briefcase. So anyways, we've got Shovel Shield here. Shovel Shield's another puppet character in this game, so there's actually two characters here, a little bit. I haven't really played... Oh, God, you can see my computer struggling there while trying to rotate this board at 2 frames a second. Not even 2 frames a second. We're rotating this board at 2 seconds per frame. But yeah, Shovel Shield is an interesting character. So there's a puppet character, which means that while... why is that stuck? Okay. So there's Shield Knight, who actually can't be hit, or... so she doesn't have any HP. But they're like certain... So you have to position... Basically, you have to position 2 characters instead of 1. Especially because this character has cards that attack from Shovel. Right, so Shield Boomerang is probably the most prolific one, which literally says that attacks from range 2, 3, or 4 do not hit you, which is wild. This card is so good. Like, this card is insane. And then she also has the Shield Gong and Buckler Blow, which deal damage from Shovel. And then additionally, on top of that, Shovel Knight can move 1 space further than he normally could if Shield is on his place. And on the other side here, we have Renea. Renea, notably another broken Season 2 character. You know what I will say, CMEshai knows how to pick his characters quite well. He's got Renea and Lucia on his team. Good man. So Renea front side allows you to kind of play a little bit of Yomi with your boosts. You can play your continuous boost face down. So your opponent, in theory, doesn't really know what's coming. Which is super. I love that concept. I think it's super cool. I really like frontside Renea, and backside Renea allows you to steal your opponent's boosts. Use them as put them in your briefcase, and then on top of that, if that wasn't broken enough, you can play the boost. And I believe you can take another action afterward. So Renea is busted. She is like one of the strongest characters in the game, probably. Surely, is she the strongest? I don't think I know the game well enough to make a balanced claim like that, but she certainly feels like one of the strongest characters in the game, if not the strongest. Shovel Shield is no slouch. I think this character is pretty good. I've never seen it run into Renea before, so if this is your first time watching the matchup, this is also my first time watching the matchup, but yeah, let's see how this goes. We'll watch from the Renea side this time around. I guess it doesn't really matter too much, like I said, because hidden cards, but yeah, we'll give one to IcePop, we'll give one to CMEshai. So anyway, we're at Mulligan here. Technically, CMEshai should wait for his opponent to mulligan before he mulligans, but clearly doesn't care, and it's not a big deal. Technically, you are giving some morsel, like a literal morsel of information away when you mulligan first, but I don't think something to cry home about. Is that saying cry home about? I feel like it's almost a saying, but I butchered the words. Huh, whatever. Anyway, Shovel Shield going first. So because of the way the board starts, Shovel can move 1 additional space. The effect on Shield Knight. Your advance and close effects starting from this place may travel to 1 space further. So you can do like some surprise stuff. And I guess it's surprise stuff if you've never seen it before. It's like he literally has like a range 6 move that hits from here. A range 4 speed 6 move that hits from here, although I doubt we're seeing that. We're just gonna see the light come out. Interesting. Light's an interesting one from range 4. It beats Strafe Fire, but he's kind of beating Strafe Fire already. So Renea has this move from range 4 called Strafe Fire, which is a 6 speed move. But Shovel Shield can beat that, right? From starting position. So that light, I'm not really 100% sure what's going on there. Maybe we'll see what the purpose of that is. But anyway, Renea backstepping backward, doing the opposite of assault. It's backstepping, and then Shovel closes in with Cross. Notably, the Shield Maiden is kind of left behind for a little bit, although Shovel can put Shield Knight on his space for his turn. Better movement than Carl Clover. There you go. Poor Carl. I wish Migo didn't get. Actually, no. Migo made the correct decision giving up Carl Clover. What am I saying? He absolutely made the correct decision. That character is bad. So anyway, Renee backed up into the corner, shovel 3 spaces away. Doesn't have the innate ability to pop forward anymore. Renee going for the face down boost. So like I said earlier, Renee boosts face down, and you don't know what it is. On top of that, she even has a boost. She has a fake boost. She has like a fake out, which is essentially like a prepare, right? So you return this to your hand and then draw a card. She has a boost that's like prepare in the future. I love it. Like frontside Renee to me is really cool for the face down boost. Okay, so interestingly, opts for the face up boost for Conspiracy on Earth. Reveal their hand and add a card to their gauge from their hand. I see this hand. Surely it's Shield Boomerang, right? You want to get rid of these because both the boost and this attack are insane. Okay, interesting. Opts for the focus. Maybe he doesn't want to get red. I can respect that. To me, maybe this is just because maybe I'm just a scrub SNS player, but Shield Boomerang is just the best card ever, and like a lot of our cards are good, but I feel like they pale in comparison to Shield Boomerang, which is attack that literally cannot hit. You can't be hit in scenarios that look super specific but actually aren't. And the boost is you draw 4 cards and then add this to your gauge. That's wild. But I guess maybe CMEshai values not getting red more than the most broken card in your kit. I don't know. I mean, reading is pretty broken in and of itself. Reading is probably one of the reasons why I stopped playing this game, but we don't want to talk about that. So that was the boost. This boost actually doesn't do anything now. But it just kind of sits here because so basically if this boost was played face down, when someone initiates a strike, the face down boosts are flipped up, and then that now effect would happen at the strike, right? But Renea clearly wanted to have that happen earlier, and opts to play it face up instead of maybe you lose like a little bit of like, oh, my opponent's sweating because I'm playing 2 face down boosts, but I clearly wanted to get that ability now. It's a good ability. It's a very good ability, for sure. So anyway, back to Shovel Shield here, who has a light in play. Rage 3 is pretty good for light. Straight Fire doesn't instantly win any combat now. Every combat. We'll actually go ahead. You just prepared. We'll take a look at the cards. This is something I should have done earlier. I'm trying to make this kind of accessible to players who maybe don't know the game so well, and I did a really poor job in game 1. But we'll actually take a look at the cards now. Well, I mean, let's be honest. These guys are taking their time. It'll be fine. Shovel Shield prepared, by the way, in this turn. So the cards here, we have a Buckler Blow, which is a 7 speed from Shovel. It's a 4 special, notably. And the boost. What is the boost? Oh yeah, you can switch places with your Shovel. Charge Slash. I love this card because it's such a hard read card. It pops block really well. So it's an ignore armor if you initiate. Great, love it. Boost also good. We've got Shovel Drop. Nice little mid speed here. Advance 2 for any if you cross over plus 2 power. So if you play close, you get like a nice 6 power payout there. We've got Shield Gong, which is equivalent to the other, or not equivalent, but it's very similar to the 0127, except this one's armored. So you got a little bit of fast slow mix up there, and then you have full defense, which is like I feel like that boost looks really good, but in reality, your opponent kind of has to let you play it. Nothing happened here, right? Yeah, okay, nothing happened here. And we have Discovery, which builds gauge for you. Speed 6, very fast with an advance 1. So this is like a range 1 to 3 speed 6, which are pretty good. Not a lot of damage, but hey, you get gauge. And also Quick Step is not a bad boost either. Anyway, Renee opting to face down boost again. And the ultras, like I said before, shield boomerang, wild, like so good. Maybe it's just really good to me just because it's not an obvious. It's very obviously good. And tandem attack is actually pretty decent too. Like a 7 power for 2 gauge is pretty good. There is a restriction on it though, of you have to move into or out of shield knight space. Can also notably hit from range 4 if you start with shield knight on your space. So a one, like a 4 range, 7 power, 5 speed, not bad. Not bad at all. Also the boost is pretty good. Not bad. Anyway, Renea opted for a face stun boost, and Shovel Shield in response boosted charge up, +2 power, +2 guard. Any King Knight hopefuls will see that King Knight has this boost too. I love it. It's a great boost. Renee opting for a 4th boost. I love this. I love this so much. Getting into a boost war with Renee is scary because you don't really know what's coming. But anyway, while we have a little bit of a downtime here, we'll take a look at Renee's cards. Renee has like a standard. I feel like a lot of Season 2 characters have this, that 2 power, 7 speed move. Paranormal Investigation. On hit, return normals from you discard your hand. Double-edged sword there. You get cards back, but your opponent knows what they are and they're normals on top of that. Mimetism, pretty, like, it's fine. I've used it to, like, save light in the past. Okay, nothing's happened there. I've used it to save, like, light in the past, because light boosts are great. But, you know, I mean, it's a transform, and it's good. Straight Fire, a range 4, 6 speed. There you go. Look at that, transform, though. To continuous boost, gives you +2 power. So like right now, if that Straight Fire was in play, look at what Renea would be threatening here. Like that's insane. And the card's pretty good too. Flare, pretty good. Like a range 1 dodge move is always good. On curve, above curve at range 4, although you don't get the hit ability. We'll get back to that because finally a strike is happening. So let's see what we got here. So that is a big. That's gonna be an armor guarded, +4 power. So let's just hope Shovel Shield doesn't get hit because he's gonna be taking a beating. Notably, you can't just like. As Renee, you can't just mash Straight Fire here, right? Because of Discovery. So you can't just mash that. Which I feel like you could in a lot of other cases. Actually, I didn't even recognize, but like yeah, the set of boosts on the Shovel Shield side also pretty scary. +2 power, +2 speed, +2 guard. That's a Wave of Warrior plus guard. Very good. So yeah, this is gonna be a super pivotal combat. Like this is gonna be so many resources spent. So whoever takes this combat is gonna have a huge lead going forward, I think. Both not in terms of health, because obviously whoever wins this combat is gonna take a beating, but also in terms of kind of resources spent. Oh, opting for the sweep. Okay, I mean this has a lot of power on it. Oh no, that does not work unfortunately because you don't cross the opponent. So that is going to be a 10 damage sweep from Renea, and only 5 damage coming out from the shovel drop. It would deal 6, but Renea has the 1 armor, and Renea gets a card. Oh no, that is bad. That is bad. Unfortunately, didn't go for the spike or didn't have it, but oof. That 10 damage in 1 combat's not bad. Not bad at all. Renee's cards are not sticking well, I see. Discard order probably. Discard order for Renee doesn't matter, right? Because that assault should be on the bottom. I know discard order matters for Renee's opponent. That sweep shouldn't be on top, right? No, sweep should be on top. The sweep was a boost. Okay, I gotta, just to maintain game state. Renee's opponent actually does care about discard order. I don't believe Renee does. Interesting. Goes for text. Text the flare. Bait it. Although flare's not the worst card. Flare's really good, man. All right. Like this card. I think this card's really good. Personally, maybe I'm misreading character, or not really good, but like pretty good. But text the flare. Shovel putting shield on range 1, which is a little interesting. Like this to me is that to me is actually quite interesting, because I don't actually like what it screams to me is that he wants to play like the 1/4 special, right? But at the same time, like keeping the shield like in the center 3 space. Although I guess Shovel has the movement. He just loses a little bit of tempo, but he has like really good movement with Shovel Shield. But maybe I don't know. Maybe I'd like to see Shovel Shield hover around here. He doesn't really. I guess to be fair to IcePop, he doesn't need to threaten Shield Boomerang because he can't, because he needs 2 gauge. But keeping Shield like around here allows you to threaten that. CMEshai just happy to keep boosting face down. Has 2 boosts already. This is scary. Shovel in response just repairing. This looks like a 3rd boost coming out from CMEshai, surely, right? Yep, I like. There it is. There's number 3. And Renee, listen, at the end of the day, I don't think Renee has any problem doing this. Notably, both Fierces are down. So, like, looking at this, like, what, there's got to be probably, like, a light. Maybe not a light. As Renee loses... Oh, interesting. He opts to backs. Oh, so... Okay, so now this is definitely screaming the, one of these two, right? And Renee just opts to cross in. But yeah, that, like this, shield now is kind of in the middle of nowhere. And now he's maybe, I don't know if he has the time to spend a turn to bring it back into play, but without the 3 gauge, this shield is kind of in the middle of nowhere right now. But maybe there's a plan there that I'm just not seeing. Like I said, I'm not a prolific shovel shield player, so I actually don't. If there's something that I'm missing there, then for sure. But it looked like the plan was he wanted to play one of these 4 specials. Okay. Shovel Shield opting into like a boost. Also boost speed in the face of 3 Renee face down boosts. Still a super scary situation. Look at the discard, maybe a reading coming out on the Renee side. Feels like to me Renee is gonna like read or boost again. Picks up the light. Looking at the discard again. I don't know. I feel like it's Renee. If you have 3 face down boosts and your opponent boosts light in response, you just say okay, and then put down another boost. In a lot of cases, right? The only cases where you don't want to do that is if like your opponent's close to death, or you're close to death, or like you're afraid of reading. Would be what I'm thinking. Maybe my estimation there is incorrect though. Can I just say this game's been going on for like half an hour and there's been 1 combat? Granted, it was an explosive one. I mean, 20 to 25, but there's been 1 combat so far this game. Parry Shield Boomerang? Not Shield Boomerang. Parry Focus, maybe? Parry Second Focus. Yeah, I guess CMEshai just not scared of shield boomerang. Says, hey, at the end of the day, it's only 6 damage. Maybe. So we've got EX, Buckler Blow, Shield Gong, 4, 5, 7, and Boomerang. A lot of normals in there, which is very scary. Um, yeah, that's actually extremely scary. I don't know if it is it. Let's see. Let's see if IcePop thinks it's worth changing cards over. The change cards actually does super low tempo, and he'll have to discard a card on top of that. And but getting red, Wild Swing. Okay, I mean that's one way to get rid of Renee boosts, I guess. It's a spicy way. So let's see what we got. We've got +1 power, +3 speed, and a fake out. Against the +2 speed. So Shovel Knight can. He's not outright losing this combat, right? Some I guess my estimation from when they were face down was incorrect. Like Renee, like Shovel has a good chance to win this. Not a great chance, but an okay, a mediocre chance. I like how the adjective keeps getting worse and worse. A bad, no, he's an okay chance to win this combat on the Wild Swing. It's not the best because Renee has cards like Straight Fire and like lethal, like Straight Fire performs well against Wild Swing. Depending on discard deck composition, Lethal Force does well against Wild Swings. Odds for the safe Straight Fire. Let's see what we get. Spike. Okay. So this will trade. So not the worst results. As a Renea player, you're still very happy, right? Because you got your Straight Fire transformed, and now you got the reading, and oh no, yeah, just keeping those normals in hand. Just really unfortunate. So this will be like a reading for like 7 damage or something. Called Shot. Yep, 6 damage. Rough. Oh no, I forgot Called Shot discards the card. That is... Oh no, that is... Oh, oh no, it's gone wrong. It's gone wrong. Known hands. Life lead. It's all gone wrong. It's the risk of keeping normals in your hand, man. Kept 3 of them too. Yeah, I forgot about Call Shot completely. It's been a while since I played Renea. Name a card. I forgot to look at Renea's cards in general. Straight Fire, Retreat 1, Ignore Armor. Name a card. Discard a card in their hand if it's there. +6 power. Like, hits the whole board. Not a bad one. Neutralizer, fine. Ultra. Anticipation, range 1 dodge, pretty good. Good character. And that's not even... Okay, so Dive gets in. So that's good. That's good. Dive gets in. He's on top of Shovel Shield now. Unfortunately, Shield Boomerang not viable now. The other one is, but it's only 5 speed, so that's got to be on a hard. That's got to be a hard read. Oh, was that a Wild Swing for Renea, maybe? Second reading. Wait, did he keep a Dive in hand? Oh no. Oh no. Just punished super hard for keeping those normals in hand. Double reading. That's brutal. That's extremely brutal. Luckily, this one was quote unquote only for 4 and advantage. But that life total is getting extremely low for Shovel Shield, only down to 7 HP against the 15 of Renea, and Renea now opting to exceed. It looks like. So Renea's exceed cost, I believe, is 5. Yep, and then she gets 2 less of an exceed cost for every transform in play. So this is a season 2 mechanic. So her exceed costs 3. She has 3 bar. So what Renee, when she exceeds, she steals cards from the opponent's discard pile. Actually, we'll see it in action right now as it's happening. So she steals. Oh no, she gets this shield boomerang. Oh no, where did it all go wrong? Well, we all know where it went wrong. But she steals cards from the opponent's discard and puts them into her briefcase. And when she hits, she takes more cards from the discard and put them into the briefcase. And then the briefcase, you can boost from the briefcase. And if that wasn't broken enough, your turn doesn't end. So, yeah. This is... So what do we have here? We have a retreat, we have a grasp, and we have a shovel of hope. You just boost shovel of hope here? Surely. Yeah. Shovel of hope. So it costs 1. So at least you have to pay the cost. But, yeah. He adds 4 cards. He draws 4 cards. And then, if that wasn't enough, oh yeah, he keeps this as force in his gauge. So, yeah. So now he's a full hand. Has 2 force in gauge. Holding the shield boomerang hostage, although I think that's less of a deal now that the game's almost over. And, yeah, not a good time. Not a good time. Just boost defend instead of, pressing the advantage here too much. I guess they didn't really have an advantage in combat there in theory. Notably now Renee has boosts to go face up, so at least there's no Yomi there. But yeah, this is going to be a little bit of a comeback for needing to happen from the Shovel Shield side. So let's see if IcePop can do it. Because we're all hoping for a game 3 secretly, right? Maybe those of you who didn't expect an hour and 40-minute video are not hoping for that, but you know, this is an interesting game, and it's been a while since I've seen high level Exceed being played, so it's interesting to watch, at least for me. I hope you guys are having fun watching this too. I know the commentary has been a little bit all over the place. At least I haven't been moving my mouse nearly as much. The range 1 dodge against the charge / hard read, nope, unfortunately it does not work out. Only 3 damage at least. Yeah, the charge slash is just kind of a hard read situation. It gets across, not the best boost to pick up, but now Renee has a lot of movement, so she can basically be wherever she wants. Dude, she can boost like assault. She can boost like assault into like a second called shot too, because I feel like this card is still known, the leftmost card. Maybe I'm mistaken. Opts for the power into the hand reveal and discard a card. So yeah, so we've got EX Buckler Blow, Shield Gong, Shovel Drop. Renee probably puts Shield. Probably put Shield Gong in there from all of these. Oh no, you put Buckler Blow in, so that way you can't get EX Buckler Blow, which is just an awesome defensive option. I thought the other one was EX, but yeah, that makes sense to me. Renee doesn't. I mean, Renee is in a very good position here, but you know, who wants to deal with like an 8-speed move? You know. So yeah, in conclusion, don't let your opponent take advantage of your no normals in hand. I mean, that's basically how we got here. Just unfortunately, IcePop decided to keep those normals in hand, and then took like 15 damage for it, and then like took 15 damage, and then like lost his shield boomerang, which was then boosted against him. Just really a series of unfortunate events. And obviously, like, who could blame him trying to go for the Hail Mary? Fortunately, he didn't die off it, but... Alright, and by the way, Renee now has +4 power. So, like, EX Paranormal is looking pretty good right now. I believe both Paranormals are still in deck. Just wild... If you wild swing, he doesn't even need EX Paranormal. He has it, though. So, is it a block? It is cross. So yeah, that's GG because this is a this is like a 7 power move, one 7 power 8 speed, like wow. Yep. Unfortunately, that's all she wrote. GG's in the chat. Oh, I'm not streaming right now. GG's all around. CMEshai takes it 2-0. First game was pretty close. This game was definitely more convincing on the Renee side. Oh, Renee had EX Grasp in hand too. I didn't. Oh wait, no, he didn't. He just pulled one. Did he? Maybe he did. I don't know. But anyways, GG's gonna be CMEshai taking the set 2-0. Lucia over Hakumen and Renee over Shovel Shield. But anyways, thank you guys for sticking with me. I know this was a long one, a very very long set. But I appreciate you guys coming here to watch. Like I said, I don't really do commentaries a lot, and this is only my second ever Exceed commentary. I don't know if I'll be doing more in the future. Maybe if the opportunity comes up. But yeah, I'd like to thank you guys for watching. GG's all around. Hope you guys check out the next one in 4 months, or maybe when no one's available to do winners finals, and I'll just randomly do that again. But yeah, thank you guys for sticking around, and I'll see you guys later. Bye bye. Thank you for watching.